just gonna be doing some skull crushes because I love that in this show. Invincible Season 3 sees Mark's hardest time so far, I would think, even though this guy's gone through pretty much everything and more. Although, again, I think I've mentioned this before, it doesn't really come close to lactose pains, but I'm also Milk's strongest soldier. In Season 3, we see a big falling out between Mark and Cecil, you know, of the superhero organization. And it's mainly because Cecil's brought in a bunch of the criminals Mark apprehended in the past to then work for the heroes. And then Mark don't mess with that. You really don't mess with that. I'm hoping very soon I can actually play jingles of the things I'm reviewing. I'm almost there. People think he's a bit of a hypocrite, Mark I'm referring to, but you know, I feel like we all are to some extent, and I think he's a little more justified because he's dealing with his family, he's trying to forgive his dad who, you know, fucking killed everyone. But on that same note, we do see Omni-Man is kind of turning a new leaf, and I think he's gonna rebel against the Viltrumites. I haven't read the comics, and I won't, because I watched the show due to weakening brain function that I've acquired from scrolling. Do you share this issue, guys? People also get annoyed at the little brother who is really just trying to help. You gotta remember, this is an actual child. Sure, he gets in Mark's way, but I would say he saved Mark's life at least 3 times. And finally, him and Eve get together. I knew this would happen. I think everyone knew this would happen, but you know, having the 2 strongest heroes on Earth as a couple, kind of cool, and Eve can do some pretty creative things with him, I reckon. Pretty creative things. One of the biggest changes with Mark, though, is his kind of whole attitude towards what he has to do to, I guess, be a hero at the end of the day. Because we have Angstrom Levy, who's the multiverse guy, come back, which triggers the Invincible multiverse war, right? So he brings in all these clones of Invincible to just f up Earth, to not only soul crush Invincible, but ruin his name everywhere. And it's a really fucking brutal event. And the season climaxes with the fight against me trying to remember his name, Conquest. I remembered it. The fight with Conquest is definitely Mark's hardest fight to date, and he gets fucked up. Oliver gets fucked up. Civilians get fucked up. Eve gets fucked up. But this fight is the climax of the season. One thing I didn't mention is Omni-Man mentioned there's only 50 Viltrumites, so the whole I guess overarching plot, the Viltrumites gonna kill Earth, kind of seems a lot more. It's gradually more feasible that they could find a way to win, but. I haven't mentioned, but I am talking spoilers. Sorry if it's a bit late, but you've probably seen. And then from the brink, apparently she has this thing where she can remove the limitations on her powers when she's on the brink of death. So she kind of OP helped save Mark to destroy Conquest. Cecil didn't actually get rid of the body. I'm pretty sure he's not actually going to be dead. This is always how these shows happen. Just kill the fucking enemy. Like, I understand that you want to do research on the biggest villain race, but is it worth the risk when you've just seen your strongest heroes get fucked up by this one person? Okay. One thing that probably just because it was the last episode, we didn't really get to see Mark grieve too much about all the civilians he basically was part in killing in this last episode, which he's obviously struggled with in the past. But I'm just gonna give benefit of the doubt that there just wasn't enough time in the most recent episode, and it's gonna be explored in the next season, which has already been confirmed. Also, just the general gripe I have with shows is when seasons get announced before the current season is even over, because it was pretty obvious this season wasn't gonna be the last one. But even with other shows like The Boys, right, another Amazon show, they announced the next season before the current season is ending, so you already know it's not gonna get resolved, and it kind of ruins a fair portion of the suspense. But whatever, I guess. But all that being said, I still think Invincible is probably one of the best animated shows out there, especially non-anime. I still just don't understand why they can't animate it a little bit better. I'm not saying the animation's terrible, but when you've seen what other shows can do, and when a show is as popular as this, apparently they get editors to do the trailers for these seasons, and they actually have better, smooth animation. So can they just do that? Even if we have to wait a bit longer, just come on, bruh. Fantastic show, okay? I've been saying this since season 1, fantastic show. And they didn't do the dog mid-season break like they did last season. It was all weekly this time, and I really appreciated that, okay? So I'm gonna give Invincible a rating, okay? Invincible, up to season 3 so far, gets 9 sexes? Point 1, 2, 3, 4, 9.4. Watch Invincible.